And we are live. And I actually remember to unmute this time. Hey, Gwen, good to see you on. Welcome, welcome. All right, we're going to pick up where we left from before. All right, so we're starting with the waist. A, D1, D2, and F1. Oops. All right, so D1, D2. F1 is the small one here. Nope, that's B2. That's F1 and A. Oops, light makes this a little easier. There we go. All right, so I need D29 from D1, D2, and D1 from D1. There. Alrighty. And there's one. Good news is that 3D printers are going pretty good. I managed to get both of the storage drawer assemblies printed out, and I've got enough drawers printed out for one of them. The other one, I should be able to get it done well in advance if I don't run out of red. I'm going to run out of the good red, but I think I've got another red that'll work. If not, I'll just have to order some more in. But I am going to probably start diverting to, now that I've got the gray in, that's the good quality gray. That's just D29, I believe. Yep. Now that I've got the gray in, I've got it currently sitting in the dryer to get it properly dehydrated, and then I'll finish printing the table tiles for the gaming table, and that should be done this week. For those that I was talking to about the copay for my treatment, the good news is that I did find an actual proper card. Apparently, the place I had gotten in contact with was not actually an actual like coupon card like you get for most medicines. It was a specialty pharmacy, and I think it was kind of scummy the way they were doing that. But because they were trying to snipe you out from the pharmacy you already had. But I found what looks to be a proper, just you print out a card and you turn it in. So it will be possible to apply it to the ones that I have not yet actually been billed for, even though the insurance company has determined how much the copay is. So when the pharmacy gives me the bill, I can submit that, and that'll hopefully resolve that issue. I do have to say, if you're prescribed any expensive medicines, I would definitely say search online or talk to the doctor, see if there's a coupon program for that medicine that will hopefully save you a lot of money. All right, so okay, this it sits like that, and each of those slides into here with that part hanging out. So that goes in there, and this one goes in here. So I'm going to have a hard out at 8:30 my time. I'm going to need to get a decent amount of sleep tonight because, unfortunately, I have been D1 number 2. I'm unfortunately not getting enough sleep. I am printing up another faux Tyranid, or Tyranid proxy. 2. This is this one here. So I'll have like 3 large-sized Tyranids that I can paint. Still tentatively planning on having Wednesday being a miniature painting stream day. We'll see how well I do with the larger ones. Okay, so this still is like that. And this fits like that. Oh, that's why that's off. I didn't get it lined up right. There we go. That fits better now. No, it felt a bit weird. All right. And see, this one here says separate to your preferences. And I looked at the translation here. It looks like all of the Japanese is fairly literal translations are translated into English. What it actually says is you can separate if you want, as opposed to separate to preferences. So I think I'm going to leave that together. So we got A17 and F1, 4, and 3. All right, so sorry, my nose is a bit stuffy for some reason. A17. But yeah, actually, I was able to stream 2 nights in a row. And with Wednesday, that might actually put me up to 3. But I'm going to try and stream more consistently because my numbers have been going down. I know it's been going down for YouTube in general, but it doesn't really help the way I feel about it personally. That's a B1. Where's the F1? Ah. All right, and we need F1, 4, and 3. And that's these here. Overall, work's been going pretty nice for me as of late. I got to spend most of the day programming at the computer today, which was kind of a nice variation. So interestingly enough, I found that the stronger I've been or when I'm feeling stronger, it is more uncomfortable to sit for long periods of time. I'm assuming that's because I'm actually moving around more, and it's putting stress on the system, as opposed to just sitting there not able to move as much as I would like. Okay, so this way, and just get snapped on there. So we got the waist, the legs, and then we start going for rail guns. And this is a semi-transforming piece. So I'll have to see how that goes when we're done with that. All right, so we got that there. Then I need A5 and A16. Hopefully pretty soon some of these will be all clipped out. So A5, which is this here. Clip that. Clip that. And put that. Once I get the gaming table done, I'm going to be making more of the miniature storage rack so I can start breaking out my old miniatures and showing them to you folks. And hopefully maybe getting together an army or two so I can actually play Warhammer with somebody. A16. There we go. That's this one here. There we go. I got no response on my invitation. I really not expecting one because I'm kind of the invite is above my punching weight, so to speak. But it'd be fun if they are able to and want to come on. If they don't, that's more than fine. I have no issues if they don't even see my invitation because they are definitely a much larger streamer than I am. But I am going to try and network some more if I can, which is one of the reasons why I was thinking about doing the American Truck Simulator thing later. Um, okay, and this goes there. All right. Seems to be good. All right. And legs. B1, 2, C1, 2, D1, D2. So I'm going to do A or F. So B1, 2, B1, 2. Put those in there. Kind of set these out where they'll be easier to find. Yeah, let me pause and catch up with chat because I'm sure there's been at least a few things. All right, let's see. Okay. Maylee's on. Hey, Maylee, nice to see you. Welcome, welcome. And Gwen says, hey, Maylee. And Maylee says, how are you to Gwen? And Gwen says, run out of red. Oh, no, you can't let that happen. Red is one of my favorite colors. Well, red is also one of my favorite colors as well. However, this is kind of a tight week until my next paycheck because I had to get my car brought up to inspection standards. But I did find a red I like, so I will be getting more of that in. Fortunately, it's not that expensive per reel, but it does occasionally take a little bit to get them in. Gwen says, Maylee, I'm doing okay. Hope you're doing well. And Maylee says, better than yesterday to Gwen. And Maylee, I do hope you are also recovering quickly from the flu. And Gwen says, oh, that's great news. I will agree with that. And it's B.S. Simon. Good evening. Hey, B.S. Simon. Good to see you on. Welcome, welcome. As you saw, I did get on the Discord. Haven't said much there, but it's kind of hard for me to like do a whole bunch of stuff all at once. So I got to kind of plan a little bit. And Gwen says hi to B.S. Simon. And B.S. Simon says, Gwen. And Maylee says, hey, B.S. Simon. And B.S. Simon says, hey, hi, Maylee. Gwen says, 3 nights streaming in a row. Is that a record? It probably will be for me. And B.S. Simon says, what kit is this? This is Rising Freedom Gundam. And I can read the story for you in just a second. I did check to make sure that it's basically translated. And Gwen says, I don't remember exactly what it's called. Torrin will say what it is when he reads chat. And B.S. Simon says, it's a quiet Discord. That works for me. I don't tend to use Discord all that much. All right, so let me switch glasses back, and I will read the story here. Story here for you folks. All right, so story. In current year 75, the fighting still continues. There are independence movements and aggression by Blue Cosmos. In order to calm the situation, a global peace monitoring agency called Compass, that's all caps, is established with Lacus Klein as its first president. As members of Compass, Kira and his comrades intervene into various regional battles. Then a newly established nation called Foundation proposes a joint operation against a Blue Cosmos stronghold. Let's see, and then it's this particular STTS 909, Rising Freedom Gundam. Total height in the story is 17.8 meters. Total weight is 67.9 tons. Using all previous operational data from the ZGMF X-20A Strike Freedom Gundam, this unit was designed incorporating convertible technology acquired by Orb through the MVF M11C Murasame. Also, its weapons are developed and manufactured by manufacturers from Plant, all caps, and latest technologies from various countries' organizations are used to develop this unit. This state-of-the-art mobile suit is also remarkable in that it is even more compact in size than previous Strike Freedom Gundam units. Its equipment mainly consists of long-distance combat armament with variable phase shift armor, VPS armor, that can neutralize physical ammunition. With its common frame as a base, equipment may be changed depending on usage needs, making this a multi-role unit capable of utilizing numerous variations. Compass. a global peace monitoring agency organized by ORB, the Plants, and the Atlantic Federation under the leadership of Kigali Yula Atha. Compass has its own fighting force supplied by these three nations, and its headquarters is located at Apolis City in the Plants. The Kingdom of Scandinavia also participates as an observer. Let's see. All right, that looks like that's it for the story. Hopefully that gives you the background for the character. Oh, I need to actually read what the next moves are. Okay, so C1 and 210. Oh, looks like they get stickers. And B1, B2 17, D1, D2 37. All right, so let's do C1 and C2 first, and they are number 10. There's 10. I think I see where the sticker is supposed to go. There's C1. No, that was C2. This is C1. It's 10. All right. And that was sticker 6 I'm looking at next. If I can get it off the table. There we go. All right, so sticker 6. Okay. Looks like it's a fold around sticker. All right, let's see. Okay. Get that to stick just a little bit. And this one seems to have at least a little bit better adhesive than the previous ones, or it may just be that it's much larger and the plastic is a little bit textured. Make it hold on a little bit better. No, that one went on rather well. Much better than my first couple of stickers I had to work with. Looks like we do stickers in number order because we've been sequential pretty much the whole time. I think we were a little out of order at the very beginning. Okay. Let's carefully line this up. I think it'd be better from finger than this. It's large enough. I can get a good grip on it. And my hands don't shake too much. All right. And there we go. Nails are leaving slight creases in it, but overall they look pretty good. All right, so got that done. Then we B17 and D37. Got the D's here, so we'll do D37. All right. There's one D37. And There's the other D37. Yeah, it is. All right, and B17, I believe. Yep. Okay, so there are the bees. Fortunately, they aren't killer bees. B17. All right. It's 117. And there is our other 17. Okay. All right. Cool. Okay. So get that orientation there. And that goes there. And all right, so it looks like this goes there. All right. So we're doing the same half of each leg. So that goes there. Fold out wings. That goes there. All right. Get that out of the way. All right, so after this, we've got okay, so we've got to do these first. All right, so D 26, 31, and 30. Both of the D's. Okay. Twenty-six, 30, 31. Okay, there is 26, 30, and 31. I'm also going to try and do sometime this week a design stream for Aussie Overload's braid. I might combine that with the printing stream, or it might be what I do on Friday. I'm not sure. Still don't know what my infusion schedule is going to be looking like, so some of the things are kind of up in the air. But those are mostly during between like 9 a.m. and 6 p.m. is, I think, their window. So, all right, so I'll set that one over there. And this goes this orientation. And okay. Goes like that. And other side fits in there. There we go. We have another joint. All right. And on this one, we also do 26, 30, and 31. I have to say I've been listening to some like creepypasta stories on YouTube, and most of them are either read or written by a large language model. And I have to say that they get more and more frustrating the more I listen to them. So I'm actually listening to the less. though I did give it another go recently. One story was involving diving off the Aleutians in Alaska. And just to give you an idea how bad it was, first they start off with the guy that's running the ship for the main character, who's a researcher. They say he's 25 years old. And then within 10 minutes of the story, he's been working in shipping or running, piloting boats and whatnot for 30 years in the area. And then they go with the underwater dive. I wasn't sure how you would do diving without going underwater, but let's see. Make sure I got this right. Yep, that way. Okay. The depths all keep changing. The horrible monster has no eyes, and at the very end, it has eyes, and it's just really frustrating to listen to. The other one I listened to was also having problems, but nothing quite so obvious as that. All right, so then we've got D34 and 35 on both of them. All right, so 34 and 35. After I get these all put together, I will go ahead and catch up with chat again. Hope I've been keeping the flow of conversation or chat or whatnot going reasonably well. I was watching some of Ricada's streams, and he was listening to the Two Fleas. And I admit I haven't really listened to much of their channel other than the occasional clips that Megan and Tug have. And he was commenting about how they got a whole lot of dead air at different times. And maybe it was when he was watching it, Kurt doing the watch build. But yeah, it's being able to talk without having somebody else holding up their end of the conversation is definitely a skill you need to develop if you're going to be streaming. All right, so it sits like that. This goes in this way on the side. Okay, that works. All right, so we got that there. We do the same thing for this one. And then we get B1 and 2, 16. And D is these ones. It's the other half of the leg pair. Starting to wonder if maybe I should admittedly my allergies haven't been that bad since I've been having allergy shots, but I also haven't been having allergy shots since early summer when the steroids I was taking for the CIDP was not allowing the shots to work. All right, so we'll start with this. Then we will have this go here. Oops. What fell out of that? That. Okay. All right. Yep, that does look like the right direction. All right, there we go. And get that one back in so it doesn't fall off again. Then we have this one here. Okay. Looks like that's actually supposed to be pointed down. But just for ease of assembly. And that goes in the bottom one. All right, then we take the counterpart. Oops, I want to make sure this is not so far back that I can't open that if it needs to. All right. There we go. Got our light there, basically our knee joint. I'm assuming that's supposed to be some sort of air intake. Okay, so did the same thing there, but snaps in fine. And pivot this out here. And that goes there. And get the pins to line up there. And there we go. We have our mirror image, left and right symmetry. All right, let's catch up with chat. I see Wendy on there. All right, let me catch up here. And Gwen says killer bees are dangerous. Yes, they are. And Wendy is on here. Wendy says, hello, lovies. Hey, Wendy, nice to see you. And Wendy says, Gwen and Melee. And Wendy says, hi, Simbri. And Gwen says, hey there, Wendy. Wendy Simbri is normally BS Simon, but apparently it's not showing his alias. And Gwen says, that's a real math trick. And of course, I forgot what that's about. And Melee says, hey, girl, Wendy. All right. So, then we've got B's 14 and C's 8. Okay. B's 14, which is here. There we go. There we go for that. And C8. Right. Oops. Wrong side. C8. There we go. Snip there. Snip there. There. And there. And also C8 there. There we go. And oh, for those that haven't seen it, this is probably going to be the miniature I start painting tomorrow night. As you can see, it's not really all that mini. Probably bigger than the Gundam. All right, so we take leg here, orient it that way. Then we take this, and it looks like it has to bend a little bit more this way. There we go. And this slides in place there. And then this slides in place there. All right. We'll do the same over here. That one's bent back far enough. This should fit. Get that in place. And there we go. Alrighty, then we do C's 12 and 28. This one wants a blade. Okay, there's 12. Do this carefully and not stab myself like I just did. Fortunately, no blood, looks like, because you're not allowed to show blood on YouTube. Oops, throwing them around there. All right. That was C12. It looks like actually C12 doesn't require it. It's the D28, so. Okay. There are C12s. Itchy nose. D28s. Okay. Okay, and there's 28 on this one here. All right. And the way those go together is this goes like this. And there we go. That's a pivot joint where they join. Get those nice and snapped in place. Okay, I guess that one's all the way in there. All right. And I want you to make sure you can do that with it. I can, but it pops out easy. All right, so then we have D27 and C9. Okay, I'll close that for now. All right, so D27. Oh, we're getting here. And C9. Okay, this is C9. Starting to get to the point where I can almost cut away larger chunks of these and have less junk floating around in the box. All right, so we've got this like that. Okay, it wants it in this orientation, not that you, to make sure you can move it. And then we have this one here, go in this spot. We'll do that to both of them. There we go. And then this sits on here. Looks like we got our high-heeled boots for our Gundam. Does not want to snap together easily, so let's give it a little bit of assistance. There we go. Was not bent down far enough. That was the issue. Okay, that's why it was telling me that. All right, so make sure it's bent down far enough. And slide this in. There we go. That fit much better. We got our boots there. All right, and then we have B15 and C11. All right, so here is our C11. I'll catch up with chat once I've got the legs all together, which looks like they're pretty close to being done. Okay, C11 and B15. These are the whitish ones. So B15. There we go. Getting pretty close to being done with the legs. All right. So these are part of our stylish shoe. That just fits right there. And sharp-toed high heels. And then we've got this slides on there. Makes it a little more boot-like. And there we got both sides. Okay. And then we've got D 32, 33, and 36. Okay. No, there's both these. All right, so 32, 33, and 36. There's 32. $33 and $36. Looks like the D's are mostly like internal gear type stuff. Pretty close to being through all of these. Actually 33, then 32. Then we go to 36, which is that one there. All right. The way those go together is we take that one here. A little pin box goes there. And the other side goes there. And do the same for both of them. Pop that in. Snap that connection. There we go. And then these go on the top of the legs with I think that's the orientation they're supposed to go. Or actually, I think that's a hip joint, so I think that's it. Okay. And so that'll probably go there. Orientation looks a little decent there. All right. And all right, so next step, these go into the boots. Oops. I must put that on backwards. All right, so that goes that way. And that goes that way. Then we get B18 and B19. Okay. All right. There is 18 and 19. One side. And 18. And 19 for the other side. All right. So the one with the ball joint oriented this way and goes there. And then this side oriented like that connects up there. So it's a nice buckle for your high heels. Okay, get that there and I put this one on upside down. That explains that. That's why it wasn't fitting. Now it should fit. There we go. All right. Definitely our fashionable legs here. All right, and let's see. That is it for the legs. All right, so let me catch up with chat, see how much time we've got left for tonight's stream, and go from there. All righty. All right, I think this is where we left off. Gwen says 25-year-old and working for 30 years. Oh yeah, nifty math trick. Yes, yes. Sorry about that. It was definitely annoying, but I get a little bit of time offset and I have a hard time placing it back. Sorry about that. And Gwen says I forgot to do the alarm or alert thingy. No worries on that. No injury was actually done, and hopefully people will see how easy it is to accidentally start hurting yourself and be extra careful. And Alder6420 says, hi. Hey, Alder. Welcome, welcome. And Alder says, Rising Freedom is a cool model. Yep, this is, Rising Freedom Gundam. This Saturday, we're going back to the same restaurant that's like 2 doors down from the store I got this from. So I'm hoping to get this one done in time so I can see if I get another one. I'm really enjoying not having to glue it together. And it's been fun putting it together. It hasn't been overly frustrating at all. And Mary says, hey to Alder. And Alder says, hello, hello. And Gwen says, hi, Alder. And Alder waves back with a Cookie Monster face, or Cookie Monster smile. And Alder says, I already did this model kit, and it was amazing. Good to hear that. And Gwendolyn says, that's awesome. And Gwendolyn says, please hit the like button, folks. Thank you for the reminder, Gwen. I appreciate that. All right, so I've got about 8 minutes. So let's see. Railguns are next. So I'll just do the railguns and we'll call that a night. All right. I've already set the redirect to go to Megan and Tug. I believe it's on Tug's stream tonight. There we go. Now we got the right angles. All right, so we've got A, B's, D's, and F's. So we're getting rid of the blues. And we're going to pull the A back out and the F as well. Alrighty. So we start with, we're doing 2 of these. So we've got 2 F9s. All right, so we got both of those here. It's been a lot easier to get these types of nippers since the 3D printing has become so prevalent. They toss them in with just about any type of 3D printing printer, resin, or filament, and they're really handy for that. All right, so 9s and then D1 and D2 25s. All right, which is that one there. There, there, and there. And I appreciate the heads up that you've already done this model, Alder. Lets me know that it's pretty well constructed throughout, or I'm pretty sure you would have complained about it. Okay, so that's the correct orientation there. And I see the slots that'll hold it. All right. So I believe, yep, there we go. And this one says, fit them as tightly as they'll go. They fit together actually fairly well. All right, and there as well. All right. Then we have F1, 7, and 8. All right, so there are 2 7 and 8s on this one here. And there we go. I might go ahead and see how much is left to do, and for tomorrow's stream, I might do it as a finish off of this build and then start into the mini painting after that. I don't think I'm up to doing 2 separate streams in a single night, though. All right, so I got a 7 and an 8. All right, so we have this model here, and all right, so this, that goes there, and this goes here, and they line up, and we have a, believe, nope, okay. Second there, it looked like it would slide on the rail there. Actually, why wouldn't that slide? That looks like it's supposed to slide. I just not pull it hard enough. All right, so try that there. Yep, there we go. It does slide. Just a little snug. All right, let's go ahead and there we go. All right, we're good with that. All right, then we have A4 and D's 24. I don't know what that means. Oh, I think that's showing orientation. I'll have to check A4. All right, so those are A4s. Careful not to let this go flying. Like I just did, but at least that was pretty much a straight drop. So we're getting close to running out of the red parts. Got 2 sets left. A6, or 2 A6s and an A7 and an A8. All right. So, and D's 24. So 23, 23, where is 24? There's 24. Not at all close to 23. All right. Let's see if 24 is closer on this one. Yes, it is. All right. There we go. All right, so the A4s go on, and I don't quite get what it is that I'm supposed to be doing with this, but let's see any difference. Orientation. I think it's just telling me that that end is down. Okay, that makes sense. And then that goes in the center there. And this goes in the center here. go. Or we will if I get it seated properly. There we go. Okay. Then we have two F1s and two F2s. F is the light gray. Okay. We are getting close to the end for tonight. Okay. All right, so these just go together like that. Okay, and B7 and B8. This is where it wants this. All right. So it wants me to do that on both of them. Looks like the rest I can do with the nippers as opposed to the razor blade. All right, go. All right, so okay. So this goes in. Where did that roll to? I heard it roll, and I don't see it. Did it roll off the table? All right, let me switch glasses. So I can see more than just a very small area at one time. Ah, went under the. There we go. All right, switch back. And that goes in there. And all right. There we go. Oops. That was only part of it. There we go. All right. Okay. Oops. Try to put together the wrong way. Okay, there we go. All right, so we need a 12. All right, a 12. And we're doing the right side. So, all right. Got this way. Got this way. This goes on here. And this goes on there. Okay. And then we have A11. All right. So A11 does our matching here. And then we take this and okay. Now I understand how it's supposed to go. All right, so this goes like that. There we go. Okay, so that goes that way. Then we have 10 and 13. All right, so I think I can get this together a little faster now that I know what I'm doing. Don't fall off the box. There we go. All right, so this, then railgun stock, railgun barrel, there, and this goes here, and they fold up like that. Okay. All right, so we have looks like this fell apart. So we'll go ahead and put that back there. All right. Oh, I never did get the back end on that one. All right, so A18. Missed something there. Whoops, but it becomes apparent. AKA how a dad joke becomes a dad joke. It becomes apparent. All right, so so this goes on the back side there. All right, so we've got that there. Then, all right. So this leg goes into here. And this leg goes in here. It looks like I was right about how the orientation of the hip joint went. And then we have this one goes here. This one goes here. And then this goes here. All right, so we have our Gundam essentially together. Let's see, can it stand up on its own? Yes, it can. Get a little more stable base. There we go. All right, so it stands like that. Let's go ahead and take these off. Turn the light off. Gotta love the off being in the middle of the switch rather than one end or the other. Makes it easy to overshoot. Reading glasses. Set this where it doesn't get in the way. And then let's go ahead and give you guys a nice close-up. Oops, that's the wrong ring there. That's the one we wanted. There we go. All right. So the base model is put together. There's still more accessories to add on to it. Let's go ahead and restore that back to regular focus. And let me catch up with chat here. Okay. All right. Did this before. Gwen said that's awesome. Please hit the thumbs up button, folks. Melly says looks awesome. Thank you. And Gwen says looks great. Much appreciated. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and head out. Try and call it an early night. And I hope all of you have a wonderful evening. And as always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding. Oops. Give me just a second here. And Millie says, thanks for the stream. You're most welcome. Gwen says, have a great night. Thank you very much. And we'll try hitting end stream again unless somebody else has another chat. All right. As always, everybody, stay safe and happy braiding.